Hello trader, welcome back to another weekly forex forecast for the upcoming week from 19th to 23rd of May 2025. As previous week we saw quite a few instruments including gold, DXY, euro dollar and all the USD pairs were in a trend that we have seen. There was a breakdown on gold and DXY currently breakout of this trend line. So this week is another important week coming up, which is we are nearing to the end of the month, expecting also increased volatility. And in this weekly forex forecast, we will be looking at DXY, euro dollar, NZD USD, AUD USD, GBP USD, dollar CAD, XAUSD, and also yen pairs GBP JPY and dollar yen. We will be looking at most of them from multi-time frame approach to see what kind of trading opportunity we may have with the market open till throughout the week to see where we can find the opportunity. Now before we look at this weekly forex forecast, make sure guys you give a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. In addition, also you can join the Telegram community. You can find link below this video for daily analysis, trade ideas, as well as updated information that I am posting every day. So with that said, let's begin this week's weekly forex forecast. Okay, today, so let's begin first of all with DXY, as DXY can give us clear direction of most of the USD pairs. So beginning with DXY, starting with the highest time frame to see overall direction in this market, looking at monthly, as monthly, weekly and daily higher time frame can give us clear direction, removing all the noise from the lower time frame. Now looking at monthly chart here on DXY, we can see that from the monthly, from this resistance line, there was a significant breakdown from the monthly, and back to back 4 months we saw that increased bearish trend, followed by this current month we see the market has started to pull back here. So to see the potential level of the retracement starting of this Fibonacci from monthly high to the low, we can see the market is approaching nearly to 38 point, which is the first minimum Fibonacci level that we can expect for this market to potentially to go back up and trend. Now at the same time, this is the monthly candle. So far we have seen once the price opened throughout this month there was bullish move, and what I think that the price may try to bounce back up further here to retest this potentially this Fibonacci, or even breaking that high to retest the previous monthly support as a resistance. Now this week what I think that the price may try to retest some of this monthly zone that already the price has made its move back to the upside. We may see profit taking from some of the buyers and then to bounce back up again potentially to the upside. Now looking at a weekly chart here to see how the market is evolving. Now from the weekly we can see that back to back 4 weeks narrower bullish candle. Now past week we saw also there was a gap open. Now what does that mean to me? As you can see, this is an downtrending market, so the trend continuation is highly likely. As we saw, there was a big drop, pullback, another drop, pullback, another drop. So we can see that it's on a weekly pullback. Now at the same time that we see the market has crossed this significant support level, which is an overextended to the downside, and what I think that the price may require at the moment for the price to drop any of this weekly low, as there is a liquidity here. And what I think this week the market may try to drop first as in a downtrend, and at the same time there is a pressure from the buyers from this support level. So we might see if the market breaks any of this series of higher low to grab liquidity and then to potentially bounce back up to any of this swing high here where we are expecting for the monthly Fibonacci level. So this could be the potential trend direction for the upcoming week. Initial drop to grab liquidity and then to bounce. Now there could be another scenario is to open with a gap that we have seen past week as well, and then to potentially bounce. So let's see what kind of price action we can expect, and what kind of price action can give us an indication of either the market is dropping further or moving back to the upside. Now there was an inverted head and shoulder from the daily that we can spot, and which is a potential reversal pattern, and as a result we saw there was a break of trend line here. This is a trend line that DXY was following for an extended period of time. We can see that this is a resistance here, and also resistance here, and also resistance here. We saw that break from the trend line with one strong impulse and followed by quite a few days of sideways movement. Now because there is a sharp rejection from the top, from the daily above this trend line, and then sideways, the market again could revert back for a retest deeply here, as this trend line has not been tested properly yet, and then we could see that potential uptrending direction after retest of this trend line. Now looking at the intraday from 4-hour chart here, we saw that gap open, which is a complete break to the upside, and the market was trended here. So what we see whenever the market is breaking this kind of swing high, it's getting rejected. So we may see that in this upcoming week, what I think the sellers could try to sell again back to this trend line here, which is an order block, and below this level is where there is an important level that we can look to see the market to trend back up. So this could be the potential wave for the upcoming week that might see the market coming here to retest and then to revert back up. So let's see what kind of price action we may see throughout the week. As I mentioned, it still can open with a gap and continue to rise, but if we see the market is trending again down, then we can expect it to break that low, and then in that zone, what I think the market even may follow this trend line for long term to bounce back to the upside that we are expecting to the monthly Fibonacci level. So this is a zone that we can look for. This is a very important trend line here to come back to meet both of this trend line together, and then to return, as this is an important area of value for DXY. So this V shape, let's see, it might be just mirror on DXY on all the USD pairs. So starting with euro dollar, and to see what kind of trading opportunity you might have. Looking at monthly chart on euro dollar, we can see that from the monthly, this is the monthly impulse on euro dollar, just mirror of DXY, and with that impulse, now looking at Fibonacci to see where the market is potentially be heading to, looking at the 38.2% Fibonacci level for this move, and it's approaching that minimum Fibonacci level. And what I think that the price, as we see the DXY like euro dollar, to push again little upside for a pullback and then to return again, that could be the move for this week. Now if we look at the weekly here, that we can see clearer picture of how the market might do this week, as starting with this pin bar, every week the market was forming series of lower high, and it is an impulse correction market where the traders might think as a pullback, which is in fact could be a pullback to create another impulse, as we mentioned earlier. But what I think that it may not be able to bounce for another direct impulse, as the market has reached a very important key level and getting that rejection from that key level. Therefore the weekly resistance is the zone that we could see the market go up, break, and then to return back for this week, and before the monthly close to see in the last week what kind of opportunity you might have. Now looking at daily chart here on euro dollar, we can see that from the daily, this is downtrend here. We can see there is a big drop followed by this pullback, another drop, pullback, another drop, pullback. So the market is forming series of lower high and lower low. This is the daily pin bar here. We see back to back 2 days series of lower high formation. Last day of trading week, we see that there is a narrow doji. Now as you can see, there is a sharp rejection on the daily from this level. So the price may what I think, the struggle to break that low here. Instead, what we could see that the market to revert again back and break any of this high where this is the weekly resistance, and then to return again to this support level. Now looking at the 4-hour chart here, what we can see that in this lower time frame from the intraday, euro dollar is where the market was in a downtrend. Now here is last session we saw narrow doji formation. What I think that the price may try to drop here, as we saw that on DXY as well. But for me, what I think the highly likely we could see that initial bounce, as there is a strong rejection from here. We saw big bounce. The market may try to bounce back up for deeper liquidity, which is the weekly resistance. And as the market was maintaining this series of lower high, so breaking above is where we could see the market to return back down. So this is a potential for the upcoming week to see how the market is creating the structure based on the real market information we can analyze again. But what I think that if we see that here the market is forming a series of higher low and grabbing liquidity from the support, that means we could see the market to go back up here, and that's where you can look for entry from here to this level, keeping stop loss below this low. And based on the later the market structure, we can look for either selling or to see where the market is heading. But for this time, this could be the move that we can look for potential entry on euro dollar with the market open. Now let's look at NZD USD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have. Looking at the monthly chart on NZD USD, we can see that from the monthly, this is the monthly price action on NZD USD. We can see the previous monthly candle is a strong bullish engulfer, a complete rejection from this support to this bull candle. And this month so far the market tested this high here, and with this test of this high, we see the price has broken below in that level where there is the previous resistance, which is turning support here. And what I think that this month we may see the market to potentially bounce back up here and then to return again in that direction. So if we look at the weekly chart, as we discussed on euro dollar and British pound US dollar, we see there is a weekly bearish engulfer. This week also we see a bear candle. So this in the upcoming week, let's see, as this is an impulse stronger, and with the 3 weeks bull move followed by 3 weeks pullback, and we see the sellers in that area very weaker. Therefore, what I think that in the beginning we could see that upside here, and that could be an important resistance line that we can look for from the weekly resistance to drop again in the direction of the major trend. So looking at the daily chart here on NZD USD, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily big impulse followed by sideways movement, and this is where the daily a big move followed by the market is forming narrower doji, expecting NZD USD to potentially bounce here to grab liquidity and then to trend again to the downside here. So from the 4-hour chart here on NZD USD, we can see that this is a level where the market was moving in a sideways, and I think with the market open here, this is a bearish move only in this area that we can see NZD USD, but at the same time it is forming series of higher low. So what I think that with market open, the price may try to push back up in the beginning and then to return again in the major direction of the trend. So this is the zone. If we see that there is a sharp rejection, as we discussed in euro dollar, there is a bearish false break here. So if you look at here, this green move is a false breakout and drop back down. So that might bring that price back again here to this support level, and that is still could continue to trend back down. And depending on what kind of price action we could see with the market open will determine either the market to drop here or to bounce. But at the moment, from this analysis, that what we can see, the market may try to what I think that may try to break here to this support and then to return, as this is a very key area of support and may not be able to break directly instead. So this could be the potential wave on NZD USD for the upcoming week. Now let's look at AUD USD. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have, looking at again monthly to see overall direction in this market. Now from the monthly on AUD USD, we can see that there was a monthly rejection from this very low price, big monthly bull candle, followed by this current monthly as a continuation of this impulse. We saw that there was a break to the upside, and from this resistance line there is a rejection of that higher price. Currently the price is at the support level, as this is a monthly drop, and we saw that there was a huge push back to the upside. We may see that another attempt from the buyers here to go back up again to either retest this monthly high or to fill some of this long wick at the top. So this week AUD USD as well, after initial retest, could see that the price to push back up again. Now if we look at the weekly chart here, we can see that from the 2 weeks narrow red candle formation. Now this is the weekly impulse followed by 2 weeks of correction. Now this doji, the way we see that, what I think that it may not be able to completely create a strong bullish impulse, neither to bearish impulse here, as if we closely look at one important clue here, we can see the price every week was creating series of higher low, except the past week the market has first time crossed that series of higher low and the candle closed above. So there is a liquidity grab here, and that might lead this price push back to the upside to above this weekly high, and potentially to form another red candle here or to form another doji. And if we look at the daily here, we can see that daily price here also a big bullish impulse here, followed by this is where the consolidation, and we see there is a daily impulse back to back 3 days sideways movement on AUD USD. Currently the market may try to break any of this low or high, and what I think that the price may grab liquidity from here and then could bounce back to the upside again. Now looking at the 4-hour chart here on AUD USD, where this is the market here, and in this area, as there is a false breakout here and drop back down here, we may see that initial drop that breaking this low, as there is an order block here, and that could be the zone that AUD USD might try to retest, like the NZD USD, the market. This is where we could see potential rebound back up. So this could be the potential wave for AUD USD for the upcoming week. Now let's look at GBPUSD to see how the market structure is forming on this unit. Looking at the monthly here on British pound US dollar, we can see that from the monthly chart here, this is the monthly impulse, back to back 3 months strong bullish impulse, and there is an monthly. If we look at the Fibonacci, this is the start of the move to the end of the move. We can see the price may try to retest this minimum Fibonacci, where 38.2% to retest. So therefore we may see in this instrument for the price after retest to come back here for another monthly retest, but at the same time it is a very strong impulse here, and this monthly candle is still not closed, so we cannot fully consider it as a pullback because it still may go up and close as a bull candle. And previous monthly candlestick pattern that we can see, this is a more than almost 1.5 ATR candle has hit that key level, so the price may try to deepen here. So this is the price action that can lead that price back below further. Now if we look at the daily on British pound US dollar, we can see that this is the daily price here, sideways movement, but at the same time there's a long wick candle is being created at the top, so smart money grabbing liquidity in that area. So therefore on British pound US dollar, after retest we could see the market to potentially trend back down. So here the most important part here, we might see a potentially sideways because there is a big bounce and the price straight may not be able to break below. What I think that it may break and then go back up again for another liquidity grab, or it might range in that area, and before the end of the month we might see potential break below for deeper pullback. So looking at the intraday from 4-hour chart here, what we can see, this is a big impulse on the 4-hour on British pound US dollar, followed by this pullback and sideways, and that is where we might see the market to break this significant key area of support. And as soon as we see the prices broken below, that could be the potential wave for the upcoming week on British pound US dollar, as we can see that there is an order block here and we may see the price to react from that level. So now let's see XAUUSD. Gold past week was incredible. We saw that there was a very nice trend from the beginning of the week till the end. You can see it's a big trend after a long consolidation, and which we might still see continuation. Let's look at first of all higher time frame, monthly. Guys, before I progress further, make sure you give a thumbs up and also join the Telegram community for trading with me to see what kind of trade ideas analysis that I'm posting, where you can find link below this video where you can access many of my strategies, tools, as well as ideas that I'm posting every day. So let's look at the monthly from XAUUSD to see where the price potentially be heading here, starting with this monthly impulse followed by this correction, and you can see another impulse, deeper correction. Now back to back 4 months we see that XAUUSD is in a bullish move, where this is the last month where the market is currently on a pullback. Now if we look at this monthly structure here, we can see that after this inverted head and shoulder on XAUUSD, the market has made its move, pullback, another move, deeper pullback. Now after back to back 2 pullback, what we can see that every time the pullback is getting bigger and bigger, that could lead that price to drop a lot this month or the next month. So there might be deeper pullback, but at the same time we can see this monthly candle, as it is a long-term bull market, we could see some impulse again returning back to the upside. So far this is the monthly price. So far we can see that first 2 weeks there was a bearish move. We can expect for the next weeks of the months the market to potentially remain bearish here. So this is the monthly support so far we can see, and I think that the price may try to now pull back to the upside and then to drop again at the end of the month. So looking at the weekly here, we can see that detailed breakdown of the price action. There is a you can see series of lower high on the weekly from the top, and so far last week we saw the break of this support here from the weekly, as there is a complete break below from this long-term support level. We may see now a potentially a retest of this previous support here. Now this support of this green candle is quite important, as in this consolidation there is only one green candle, which is support down resistance. And this week what I think that the price may try to push back to that support turning resistance, as the price has broken that key area of support and there is a long week. There might be reaction to the upside again, and later we might see the price to come again to fill that long week. So that could be the potential wave for this upcoming week that we can see from the daily time frame. This is the daily price action, where there was a daily drop followed by narrow pullback, and we can see the market has done another drop and followed by narrow pullback here. So what we can see, this is the last day of trading week, where there is a big daily long week candle here, and with that drop from the daily, what we can see the price to if you guys look at it, there is a daily long week and also there is a liquidity gap at the top. So what do we see the lower time frame to see exactly what kind of market structure it might form this week, as there is a big impulse correction this week. We may see initially the price to push back up again, breaking any of this high, as there is a big impulse and the price may not be able to drop straight away. Instead, we may see the price to go back up to break any of this high, where is what we may find another selling opportunity. Now looking at the 1 hour chart here on XAUSD, where the market is forming series of higher low, and this is where we will be waiting for potential bullish entry opportunity for this move back to the upside, and this could be the wave for the upcoming week. And this is the trajectory that I'll try to follow to see if the market is following that structure, and depending on that, throughout the week we will look for trading opportunity from this key area of support and resistance. If you guys want to trade with me as well, make sure you join the Telegram channel. You can find link below this video. There is a lot of promotions and updates to join us in the academy to become a trader with me, trading every day live with the academy members. Okay, so let's look at GBPJPY, starting with monthly chart to see overall picture in this market. Now looking at monthly on GJ, we can see that from the monthly, after the previous monthly sharp rejection from this lower price this month, as expected, with new monthly open, we have seen that there was a bounce back to the monthly resistance line, where the price has managed to break this long-term historical trend line. And once the market has broken the trend line, we saw that there was immediate rejection. The price now below that trend line, and what I think that as it has broken such an important trend line, there has been liquidity trigger, and we may see now again deeper pullback, and even eventually could see the price to come back here to this monthly support level again. Now if we look at the weekly here, we can see there's a weekly doji, and that doji is where there is a rejection of the higher price from a pin bar. Now with that pin bar formation, as the market had such a strong rejection, we can expect now for the price to break below here, to come back to that zone, either to continue to drop further to that monthly support. What I think that the price may try to retest that monthly support and then to reject back again, potentially to create a new higher high. Now looking at daily here on GBPJPY, we can see that from the daily, this is the daily move. From this level there is a big drop here from the daily, and with that daily price action back to back 3 days, the price has dropped to that support level. And what we can see that last day of trading week, a narrow candle, expecting for this market to potentially what I think that with the new daily open, we may see, as there is a drop to that gap level, we may see deeper pullback and then to return again in that direction. So the bias is still could be bearish, but we might see that lower time frame liquidity grab here. So this is the local trend line. Here we can see the market after this two dojis big drop, and whenever the market is forming the doji coming down here with multiple liquidity grab, where if you look at the 4 hour chart here, you can say 4 hour bearish engulfer, and the market is getting that multiple rejection from this level. So if we look at the 1 hour chart, this is a big drop, 1 hour price action, a complete break last session of the trading week, and we might see immediate pullback with the market open, as this is a big 8-year candle. We could see that pullback, and that could give a selling opportunity in this market around this zone, as there is a big drop. If we see that pullback is not immediate bounce back up, we may see the market to drop again. So this is the downtrend at the moment, and in that area, as soon as you will see suitable price action confirmation on GJ, we can look for potential selling opportunity in this market, possible for this possible drop to create a new lower low. Now let's look at dollar yen. Let's see what kind of price action we have. Looking at the monthly chart on dollar yen, we can see that from the monthly, This is the monthly price action so far on dollar yen, and which is an important monthly support. And from this support we saw that a bounce to the upside here so far. This is the monthly impulse after this big drop to that support level. And what we can expect this month, what I think is the market has started to revert back here. We could see the price to come back here to this support level potentially before it bounce back up again. Now if we look at the weekly chart here on dollar yen, we see there's a weekly pin bar which is sharp rejection, and the trend is still maintaining the downtrend here. And what we can expect for the market to drop again, as there is a big rejection here from this resistance line. This is the monthly support, expecting this week as well the market to remain bearish. Now looking at daily chart here on dollar yen, back to back 4 days drop followed by a doji. Now this doji on dollar yen, what I think that is just a slowdown of the sellers activity with the profit taking, and the market trend is still could remain bearish, leaving a daily resistance here, an important area of value to look for potential selling. If we look at the 4-hour chart here is the downtrend continuation. We can see that the market is maintaining series of lower high and lower low, which is in a downtrend, and market open can give us a liquidity gap here with a potential for selling. As soon as we will find suitable entry in this market, we will be looking for selling opportunity with a high probability trade setup. So traders, if you enjoy this education and analysis, make sure you give a thumbs up, and also join the Telegram channel. You can find link below this video for updated education and analysis that I'm posting every day. So with that said, thank you, and I'll see you soon again in another educational analysis.